So what do you see, or when you think, when you see these things on like Twitter, etc., of like these arguments, or SMC is the way to trade, or this big hype around SMC, for example, like what are your thoughts around all that?
My honest opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't give a shit. Like, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if it works for you, then that's, like, I know people that trade ICT, SMC, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy for them because we're in the same game. We're here to make money at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's people, I know some guy on YouTube, I've seen him for like the last 4 or 5 years. He trades support and resistance. Literally, it goes into a support, it goes into a support, he buys,
Yeah.
and it goes into a resistance and he sells, and he makes millions.
Wow.
And then you got, SMC traders, ICT traders, you got all these traders trading with like 5 pip stop losses, 10 pip stop losses, and it's not working for them. And then they'll be messaging me saying, like people for some reason assume that I just trade ICT. I don't trade ICT. I've watched probably 5 or 10 videos of ICT, and I'm actually happy I am, because a lot of the other stuff that, like from the looks of it on Twitter, it just looks so complicated. Like higher time frame, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. Then you drop down one time frame. This has to go here, this has to go here. Order block, breaker blocks, all of this stuff. But for me, I just keep it simple. Just static risk to reward. Look at Asia high, look at Asia low. Place your trade and go about your day.
Yeah, I love it. I love to hear it. Yeah, because the beauty of what I do is I speak to so many traders. Right? I speak to not only traders now. I'm speaking to the podcast that's dropping in a couple of hours from now is with the funded trader CEO of Angelo, for example. So I'm starting to speak to like prop firm owners and software developers and so on. And it's so interesting because there is like so many different styles, so many different thoughts. And the ones who are doing it at a high level and successful, they literally don't care. That's the main thing, right? They don't care. They don't get assigned to like a very specific way of thinking and like start defending something or stuff like that.
And they're the lucky ones because they got all the data for the traders. So they can probably fill out like 2, 3, 5 pip stop losses, whatever. And the people probably using bigger stop losses or what people assume to be bigger stop losses. They're probably looking at it thinking, these are the ones that are making majority of the money. Obviously, at the end of the day, there are people, and I know people personally that trade with like 4 pip stop losses.
Yeah, same, 100%.
You've got to find what works for you.
Yeah, no, 100%. And obviously, in terms of like payouts, prop firm wise, how's that been looking at the moment then? So you went from minus maybe 50 to 70K or something.
No idea.
What's the flip side? What's the positive?
The positive is if you don't give up, sooner or later it clicks. And then the way people say, not in an egotistical way, but it is sort of like printing money. Once you have the skill set, you found what's worked for you, and everything is there.
So I have a reel, right, that I put out.
I've seen that reel.
You've seen that reel, right?
$1 million one.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple million.
So it's like, I said, Forex lifestyle is easy. Once you have the skill set, right? So as someone who has the skill set, what would your opinion be of that?
It's true. It's true. Once you have the skill set, it is. I wouldn't say it's easy. It's easier. Because trading is difficult. There's a reason why 95% of people lose or don't make money. The 90-90-90 rule.
Of course, yeah.
So it's not easy, but if you keep at it, it gets easier. Because for me personally, I think it's just mostly psychology, like 80%. Because if you think about the amount of times, for example, the people listening, that you've blown accounts, or it's mostly down to emotions.
Yeah.
Which is why I also say to people that message me, as a rule of thumb, 1 or 2 trade subs a day. Focus on 1 or 2 pairs, and focus on like 1 or 2% risk, or you can, depending on how aggressive you are or conservative, you can risk 1% a day or 0.5. It just depends on your trading style.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because I'm using a lower risk to reward, my risk to rewards are 1 hour, 1.5, 2 hours, 2.5s, very rarely 3. But it's mainly around the 2 hour mark. So what that means for me is my losing streaks is more likely not going to be as bad as someone with, for example, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. And it's when you have them losing streaks, that's when you got to have the discipline to keep at your system. Because everyone has losing streaks. It's normal, losing trades. Same way you have winning trades, winning streaks.
Yeah. No, 100%.
It's like another point. When when price goes like 1 pip from your take profit and your reverses,
Yeah.
and hits your stop loss,
Yeah.
or break even, people will get mad at that, but they won't see when price is 1 pip from the stop loss and you reverse the other way. They just, oh yeah, my TP hit.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. So in general, it evens out in the long run.
So every possibility is going to happen. That's why I like
Yeah.
to say, like, there's going to be trades that break even, trades where it nearly goes break even, hits TP, trades that hit break even and go to TP, some that hit, nearly go to TP and go to stop loss, or vice versa.
So many different scenarios. Once you've been doing it for such a long time, you just get used to all of it.
Exactly.
Like even recently, one of my friends who started trading, I think 3-4 months ago, the candle wouldn't even close, but it would be 1 pip from his take profit, and he'll start retracing a little bit. The candle hasn't even closed. Oh, it's reversing now. I'm like, relax, it'll hit your TP, and if it doesn't, so what? Break it. Move just when price goes near my take profit and starts reversing a little bit, or like aggressively reversing. That's the only time I move my stop loss to entry. Otherwise, I just leave it, let it run.